What's up, YouTube? I'm Mike, and today I'm back with I'm always fiddling with my camera. I can't ever get this line straight up. Today I'm back with week 21 check-in of my, apparently what's become a permablast. I'm not going to go back through all the details of everything that's gone on over the past 21 weeks. Please definitely go watch. I think I made an update video, I think starting week 4 all the way to week 21. I can't remember exactly now. There's quite a few videos in this series. I started with one set of compounds, and then at the week 15 mark, I decided to test combining 219 NOR drugs, which everybody tells you is the worst thing you can do. So I was already on 500 milligrams of Test C per week. At the time, I was taking 100 milligrams of Tren E per week, 400 milligrams of Masteron E per week, and I added in 200 milligrams of Nandrolone. I saw phenomenal gains in that cycle until I was diagnosed with drug-induced liver injury caused by an antibiotic that was prescribed to me by Baylor Medical Center in Dallas, Texas, which put me into if you've been following my channel for a while, then you know I spent like a month basically coping with that nightmare. I just went and got a blood draw to see if my liver has completely healed yet. As of last check, my enzymes had spiked and were coming back down to normal. But, slightly more than a week ago, I was on the mend, but my God, my ALT was still in the 700s, AST in the 400s. So this last week I've been far from truly healthy. I have felt considerably better, and I have been able to get in good workouts. So that's the Cliff's Notes version of where I've been. Where I am today in week 21 is, and I lost 22 pounds. So when I got sick, I weighed 214.4 pounds, and I dropped all the way down to 190. Actually, it was 189. Over the course of the last week or so, I have been able to climb back up out of the toilet. I was up over 198 and a half pounds last night. And so there's been a lot of changes going on. Currently, or as of last night, I was running 500 milligrams per week Test C, 200 milligrams of Nandrolone decanoate, also known as Deca, 50 milligrams per week of Trenbolone E, 400 milligrams per week of Masteron E. Pending my new labs, I had decided to stay off of the Proviron and off of the MK677. Neither of those drugs should be hepatotoxic, but I was just trying to give my liver the best chance that it could to heal, especially given the fact that there's a lot of other compounds in there, none of which are hepatotoxic, but still just trying to play it somewhat safe. So once I donated blood so that I could get a new idea of where I'm at, I went ahead just about 30 minutes ago and reintroduced the Proviron for the first time in a month. So I just took 25 milligrams of Proviron, and about an hour to 30 minutes before dinner tonight, I will redose the MK677. I should get my blood work back in about 24 to 48 hours, hopefully. If my liver enzymes have continued to improve, then this is where I will stay. I had some bit of paranoia last night because I restarted. I had been taking only Ambien to sleep, and for reasons that don't matter for the purpose of this video, I'm trying to get off the Ambien, and I'm taking another drug called Zopiclone, which I've been taking for a long time. And then I got paranoid that maybe that had something to do with my liver injury. I woke up this morning with kind of bloodshot eyes. And it's like, I'm just going through a lot of paranoia, because when you have, like a scare like I had, like all of the doctor friends that I have are like, dude, it was the Augmentin. Stop worrying about everything else. But I'm still like a little bit paranoid. So I've been reintroducing one drug at a time because I just want to rule out that anything else could be the causal factor. And so Zopiclone is another drug that should not be hepatotoxic, but there is some data suggesting that it might elevate ALT, AST levels. So I got paranoid about that. Hopefully everything will come back. My blood work will show that my liver has continued to improve, and we can get on with this blast in earnest. So over the course of the last week, I've finally been able to start getting in full workouts to where I can actually complete an entire, generally I try to get about 20 working sets per body part. And I was only at about 80% functionality up until this last week. This last week, I have been able to complete all my workouts with energy left in the tank. So I'm hoping that is a further sign that my liver is on the mend and that things are trending in a positive direction. I talked a little bit about in one of my previous videos about how I felt off of the Trenbolone. That was one of the set when I had the liver injury. I tried to take a bunch of shit out of my protocol just because I was panicked, honestly. And so I took the Deca, the Tren, and the Proviron out and absolutely felt miserable in the absence of the Trenbolone. I restarted Tren just over a week ago at 50 milligrams a week. So I only right now I've only taken 2 doses. So I'm at 50 milligrams and my wife and I have already had a blow up fight. I don't know how the fuck you guys, like so many people in my audience report taking upwards of like 300 milligrams. Like John, the guy I made the video about, I think yesterday, 14-year steroid veteran steroid user, 420 milligrams of Trenbolone E per week. Apparently, absolutely no problems. I know lots of people who run Tren in high doses and they do not seem to have the acute psychological effects that I do. Week 1 at 50 milligrams and the absolute Tren God mentality is back in full swing. Like my wife and I were arguing over my son's has been training at the gym with us, and it's been a total nightmare, honestly, because we like to work out about 4 days a week. Our daughter can't go to the gym with us. She can't be left at home by herself. And so it was forcing me. So when I got sick, I was training 6 days a week, which is more than I really wanted to train. I think it may have led to why I originally got sick. I was just totally depleting myself. My workouts were starting to suffer the week before I got ill. I hate to use the term overtraining, but I was definitely not feeling it. And so I got sick, and then my wife started going to the gym with my son. She was training 6 days a week, and she started having shitty workouts and not being able to recover, not having a lot of energy. So we were fighting basically over, him sort of his training sort of interfering with our ability to work out together. It created a situation where I was, either I was working out by myself so she could take him to the gym, or somebody is having to work out 6 days a week and it's just not sustainable. So during that heated argument, it wasn't really like a blow up fight, but all of the old familiar language that I use during a trend come up, I actually feel and think that I am God, that I am like the fucking king of this household. I really feel like I can't understand why when I walk around in public, like everybody's just not hitting a knee. The fucking red carpet's not being rolled out for me. Like, I don't know why there's not somebody following me around in the gym at Planet Fitness going, can I please unload this machine for you, sir? How many plates would you like me to put on it for you, sir? Can I get you a water bottle, sir? Like, when Tren is coming up in my fucking system, I literally feel like I am God, and I cannot understand why nobody around me recognizes my deity. I just don't understand how you guys handle it. Apparently I have some personality. Maybe it's my psychopathy. I don't know what it is, but Trenbolone sets it off, and it only takes a drop to affect me. The good news is this won't last. It will only be this way as the drug is rising in serum concentration, and once I stabilize, then I actually tolerate 50 milligrams of Tren very, very well. My wife will actually confirm that I tolerate 50 milligrams of Tren exceedingly well. It does not have any negative effects on our relationship, my ability to be close to her. Really, once the drug settles in, it's really truly all positives. I'm far less insecure, which is always a bad look. My insecurity leads to a lot of relationship problems because I'm constantly checking up on what my wife is doing. I'm far less insecure on the trend. My sexual aggression is good. She always feels desired because I'm always pursuing her in an aggressive way. I think that she would, I mean, she's done it in the past. She's put her stamp of approval on the Trenbolone at 50 milligrams, and I think she would agree that even 100 milligrams was not causing any problems. I think the jury for both of us is out on whether or not 125 milligrams is safe. But independent of the dose, it doesn't matter if I'm coming up on 200 milligrams or 400 milligrams or apparently even 50 milligrams. The come up for me on Tren is acute, and it is a mind fuck. So that's been what's going on around here this week. Luckily, it has not popped off to the degree that I've been making any I'm getting divorced videos, but it's definitely been something that I've had to combat. I am very happy to get the Proviron back into the mix. As I said in some previous videos, SHBG seems to be the one thing in my body that actually feels good for it to be rising and falling in serum concentration. When I jump on Proviron, I have extreme sexual interest, everything. I don't want to use all the words because YouTube dings me, but my sexual function on Proviron during the first 4 weeks is phenomenal. And then it will reach a plateau, and it seems coming off the Proviron and letting the so the Proviron drops your SHBG, and then it seems like once it totally bottoms out, that I start losing the extreme sexual function. So I get off the Proviron, let the SHBG come back up. And it seems so far in the 2 times that I've done this that I get the extreme sexual functionality on the rise or the decline. As long as there seems to be movement on either side of the fence, my sexual functionality and especially my sexual sensitivity is pegged to the max. So I'm very excited to test this now for the 3rd time. If it happens again, then I think it's pretty much conclusive because I've tested it once on the decline, once on the rise. This will be testing the decline of the SHBG again. And so if all of the things that I'm looking for return over the course of the next week or 2, then I will have definitively proved that at least in my body, cycling Proviron every about 4 weeks seems to be the way to maximize sexual functionality, to keep the pros and sort of never plateau. So again, I think I just said, I gave you all the compounds that I'm currently running. I'm seriously looking forward to adding the MK677 back in tonight. My weight has been slowly increasing. My hopes, I talked about this in one of my previous videos, that I was hoping by pounding fluids, I would just be able to reinflate the muscles. Unfortunately, that is not happening as rapidly as I had hoped. My weight went up pretty quick. You know, I put on 6-8 pounds in about a week and a half, but it seems to be flagging right there. And so I think the addition of a ghrelin and growth hormone agonist is what's going to be required to push the remaining water back into the cells. I think that every time I've gotten on MK677, coincidentally, my weight has gone up rapidly. And so it must be pushing water into intracellular tissue. I just can't think about, I don't know what else it could be. One of the things that I was looking closely at in my previous physique updates that I shoot at the end of my workouts, when I was at 214, if you go back to that video, I was wearing my red pants. It's you can see it in my shorts. At 214, I was not losing any vascularity. My shoulders had that look where like a paper cut would be enough to fucking bleed you out. Like I was still very, very vascular, but substantially more full all around on the MK677. Unfortunately, it does seem to bloat my face quite a bit. I'm actually looking forward to that. I know a lot of you guys seem to think that I look better in this skeletal look that I have here. I do not like seeing these depressions in my cheeks. I think it makes me look old. I think it makes me look sick. I don't like seeing those at all. I would prefer almost to have a little bit of moon face. It seems to smooth wrinkles and and make me look younger, honestly. It's a decidedly steroid look. I mean, it is very common in people who are using GH to have that full face, and I actually prefer that look. I seem to be the only person. The vast majority of everybody in my audience seems to disagree. My wife disagrees. She prefers me looking exactly like I do now. But fuck all you guys, and fuck her too. Like, I don't really mean that. She's gonna love me regardless. I do love the honesty. So obviously, everyone has been candid in saying, "Hey, look, we think you look better in this state, but I want the look that I want." And so I'm very excited to put MK back into the mix and see what that does in my body over the course of the next 2 weeks. So really not a lot else to report. Like I said, I'm still not back to square one. I'm hoping that the results of this blood test are going to show that hopefully I'm healed. I doubt seriously that a week is enough to drop my ALT 700 points, although the previous week it did fall by 600. So it is within the realm of possibility that I could be in striking distance of normal at the end of this last blood work if nothing that I've added re-inflame the situation. Like I said, I'm a little concerned about the Zopiclone that I've been taking. I've noticed some signs that maybe, I don't know, we'll see. I don't want to be paranoid. So I can continue working out, probably 4 days a week, an hour and a half per lift. I'm using a bro split right now, trying to continue to gain my weight back. My appetite has remained very good. It's probably going to get a lot more ravenous when I put the MK back in the mix. And then it's weird, like taking Masteron and Proviron together. That I'm guessing that's what allows me to put on all the intracellular water and still not lose my aesthetic. I'm guessing, because it very clearly I was substantially more hydrated with the GH water retention, but it seems that the Proviron and the Masteron keep the extracellular water off. And so I'm still able to look very vascular, even in the presence of what could amount to 15 to 20 pounds of body water. So I'll have to keep an eye on my blood pressure as those changes, if they do occur. And yeah, basically that is it. I'm feeling substantially better psychologically with the trend back in the mix. It has basically just become a staple for me. As I've said many times, the compounds that I run are not purely bodybuilding I mean, they are bodybuilding compounds, but I do not run them for purely bodybuilding reasons. Obviously, in a bodybuilding context, my cycle makes really no sense. I've got high amount of test, which is a wet compound. I've got Deca in there, which is a wet compound. And then Masteron, which is typically a cutting agent. Proviron, which is typically a cutting agent. And then the trend that seems to be right in the middle can go either way. So I've kind of got 2 wet compounds, 2 dry compounds mixed together into this bizarre smorgasbord of androgens. But for me, that's what seems to give me the aesthetic that I want, the strength that I want, the joint lubrication that I want, the psychological state that I want, and the sex drive and performance that I want. And that's why I run this bizarre this bizarre cocktail of compounds. So again, for those of you guys who come to YouTube channels looking for a cycle that you can copy and paste, I would definitely not recommend this cycle. I'm toying with the idea of making a video titled "The Best Beginner Steroid Cycle You Can Take." This will be a highly controversial video if I make it. It's a video that borders on trolling, but you really can't argue with the logic that I'm going to deploy in this video. like, it's kind of a play on the bro science. I don't know. I probably should just shoot the video and put it up and then see what happens. So there you have it. Really not a whole lot extra to report. This is still a recovery phase for me, a rebuilding phase. So hopefully when we get to week 22, which will be next week, we will start to see some return to normalcy, both on the liver enzyme side and on the body weight aesthetic side. So until then, I think I'll cut this video short. As always, thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.